Welcome to FSMS Advertising. I'm here with the proprietor, Mr. Clenson. He's been very gracious to host us, to show us the different bonding techniques using the different glues. They're a very experienced fabricator located here in Quasis, and he will run us through the different techniques you need to use when you use different glues for bonding acrylic along with his team. So let's go check them out. Let's follow us inside. So now we will demo the 190 Acrifix. 190 Acrifix is what we can say is the most difficult to use, and ideally needs good practice and sometimes years of practice to do very complicated jobs. So today with the 190 we will show a simple straight joint or butt joint, and it is ideal for any kind of really architectural applications or really heavy load applications. If you know the bond is going to be under immense weight. It's also a kind of glue that is ideally used for aquariums where you want a watertight seal. If you have complex molded parts where you want the joint to be bonded monolithically, this is also a great glue for that. The Acrifix 190 needs to be used in combination with a catalyst. So the catalyst is something, or an activator also it's called as, is something that starts the polymerization process. So generally the ratio is for every 100 ml of Acrifix, you need 97 ml of the 190 and 3 ml of the catalyst. That is mixed together, and you should only mix together what you are confident you are going to use in the first application and in an immediate bond, because if you mix too much, the activator is going to start hardening the glue and it will be difficult to use that glue to apply it to the bond or the place you're planning to apply the glue material. It's I think without any light it will harden, right? You just have to wait after setting the glue?
Because if we are using the hardener, there is no need any kind of lights. Okay. Only the thing is how much quantity we are taking the hardener, that much speed it will get dry. Okay. And if we are going to apply in one side, yes, we should take only that amount of, that volume of Acrifix. Yes. Otherwise, we cannot go to the next part because it will get dry fast. Correct. Okay. This, when we are doing the Acrifix, this is the main thing we should care. And in the hot season, suppose this Acrifix, it will affect as per the climates. Yes. Suppose the winter season, if you are going to apply the Acrifix, if we are taking 2 ml, yeah, in the winter season we should take 4 ml. Okay. By experience we will come to know that. Yeah. Okay, if we are applying 4 ml, and we should understand that how much getting the first. Yes. That much only, that much volume only Acrifix we should take. And in the winter season we are taking double, but in the hot season it will dry very fast because of the sunlight also it will affect. Yes. Then at the time we can use only, as you said sir, the same percentage of the hardener we can use. And this is especially this Acrifix we are using for the joint purposes. Joint purposes means when we are making a cylinder in 20 mm or 30 mm or 15 mm, yes, we are making the cylinder. At the end we are getting one joint. In one joint, that joint area we are using Acrifix. That joint we will make like this shown the degree. Yes. From 20 degree or 25 degree from edge to edge. Then after that we will join this one like this, and we will apply the Acrifix, but like this. Yes. This area. After that we can make polish and everything. We will put the Acrifix little more, and this area there is a chance to fall. Yes. The same time we can rub with the thinner. Okay. We spoke earlier. Yes. The 0030 thinner, okay, we can use. And it will take minimum half an hour, 25 to 30 minutes to take to get dry. Okay. This is at any cost, this joint area will not break. This is, we said earlier, this is a more than like a concrete, and this joint area for the quality wise also, it will be only a hairline joint.
Okay.
It for the quality purpose, this is the best one
Almost
for
invisible,
the joint.
unless you are coming very close.
Yeah, very closely only it will, we can, even if we are coming to close also, there is a difficult to where is the joints.
Yes.
If we are putting our hand,
Yeah.
or if we are looking perfectly, then only we can
Yes.
find out the joints.
So one of the most important points, especially in the application, is the quantity of the catalyst. As Mr. Clenson was saying, you need less amount in the summer and more in the winter. Again, this is based on practice and application. You can become a more skilled fabricator. So we'll call the skilled fabricators to show us how to do it. I'll ask Jose and Godfrey to do the demo now. So now Godfrey is measuring out 100 ml of the Acrifix 190. So Godfrey and Jose have many years of experience in this. So they use a certain measurement ratios that they like. So they prefer to use the 100 ml with 2 squeezes of the hardener. So the hardener is what will start activating that Acrifix glue itself to start hardening, the hardening process. So even though there are standard ratios like 97 ml to 3 ml of hardener versus Acrifix, it also depends on your comfort level, your experience, because when you have used this many times like they have, they know by a sense of experience how long that is going to take to start hardening and what is the scope of the material they have to pour. And so they have, just by experience, been able to assess how much they need, what they're comfortable with in terms of hardening speed and gluing area, gluing surface area. Once the hardener is poured into the Acrifix material itself, bubbles will start to form. Does it have to be mixed?
Yeah, when we are mixing the hardener, then the bubble will form, but we should wait till the bubbles come up. After releasing the bubble only, we should pour in the acrylic.
So that's very important. Otherwise, those bubbles will get poured with the glue into the gap, and they may harden as a bubble itself. So
and we should stir this hardener with Acrifix, a small rod, acrylic rod.
So you have to wash the material to see. Now we can see some bubbles forming. It's definitely there's going to be some time you have to wait for all those bubbles to release from the surface before you can start pouring the material into the gap.
We should cover this vessel for a few minutes. Okay. Then in the meantime, we can make a joint preparation for the acrylic. When we are going to pour the Acrifix, before that we should make a support. In the previous we did for 192, 192 for and 190, the same way. But in this one, we should make like this, the half groove one, and wherever the two ends should be 10 mm, 10 mm space to hold the acrylic. In this groove, the two edge of the acrylic we will keep in center of the groove. Why we are doing like this? Because when we pour the Acrifix, when it's fall down, it will fall in the groove. It will not affect the quality of the surface of the acrylic. And we should fix this strip with this 20 mm acrylic with chloroform.
Like in the case of 192, 190 also, you have to pour excess material so that it is not short to fill the gap where you're trying to bond. So that excess material will overflow somewhere. And by creating this jig or support system around the gap, Jose is ensuring that he has less work later after the bond is set for the post work in terms of polishing. Otherwise, that excess material will start spreading all over the front surface and the bottom surface. And you can see after he's set up his complete jig, very minimal amount of material, Acrifix itself will be able to come into contact with the top and bottom surface. So that will also ensure that he has less post work in terms of polishing and finishing up. Depending on the size also, you can use clamps and jigs for bigger pieces maybe. So, but
in normal cases we are using the molding. In molding, in the mold only we will keep this acrylic, then it will balance. Now we are the straight because of this is the straight piece. Why? Because of that we are showing like this. If we are making the molding, we will use the mold only.
So now we waited a few minutes, about 5 minutes. All the bubbles from the mixing of the hardener with the Acrifix have escaped and it's ready to pour. But from that, the clamp system they've put together for this bond is ready. Most of these parts of acrylic are temporarily, especially in the center, is temporarily bonded with chloroform or a standard acrylic cement which can be removed later. So these pieces of acrylic will ensure that no material is going to leak onto the side of this material or this side, and even at the bottom, that groove which we showed you earlier is going to collect all the excess material that might fall through, and will ensure that the post finishing polishing work can be done much easily without a lot of trouble. So now when they were putting the clamps together also, they realized there might be a small gap in these vertical pieces, so they've put an additional support just to be 100% sure that nothing is going to leak through. So this kind of a setup can be done depending on the type of joint. You have to be creative also in coming up with a clamp system like this. It might be not always a straight joint like this. It might be, as I mentioned earlier, an angular one, or even Mr. Clenson is mentioning a dome or a circular one. So you have to have the right support system to ensure the material is in contact with the bonding surfaces and all the excess material has a place to be collected and not destroy the actual material itself, because the material that the acrylic that we're hardener with Acrifix that we're pouring in here is hardening and it's going to become hard, so it would damage the surface. So I think we can start with the pouring if we're ready. As you can see, there's a lot more glue than you think it might be needed, but over the hardening process, a lot of this material, some of it might evaporate, some of it might shrink, a lot of it will shrink. So having that excess material is really paramount. And you can see most of it is filled up now throughout the joint, and we have to leave it here for ideally a few hours for it to set.
30 to 50 minutes.
So we can leave it here for 30 to 50 minutes. And then we can come back and check on it. And now this bond is going to be a create a completely new monolithic piece of acrylic, or a single piece. Whereas we had two pieces earlier, after this bond is completed, it would be really a single piece that is created using Acrifix 190. So especially for high weight loads, watertight bonds, this is definitely the most recommended product, and something that has to be practiced and implemented. As Godfrey was sure, you can see even in his pour, it is through years of experience and watching how the bond sets, he's able to gauge what will be his next step and how to finish it. So I think we'll come back to this after 50 minutes to 1 hour to see how it is set.
40 to 50 minutes. And there is a chance when you are pouring Acrifix, there is a chance we should ensure that all the area should filled with the Acrifix. Otherwise, we will make a small strip of the acrylic. We can remove that one, and if there is a bubble also, we can remove with this strip.
Okay. So now it is maybe 80% hard. We still have to wait maybe another 30 minutes. And as we are watching it harden, we've noticed now there's a lot of bubbles. And especially this is a different environment because of the lamps from the shooting lamps we have in place. It has caused extra heat in the environment, which has created the bubbles. So as I mentioned, this is one of the hardest glues to use and something that takes practice and a lot of patience and a learning curve, especially depending on the climate, the surrounding temperature, so that you get the right ratio. But in terms of bonding, it is the strongest and the most effective for architectural bonds, bonds which need to take heavy load, and even waterproof bonds. And this was the excess material that was in the vessel. We pulled it out. As you can see, it is already hardened. It's still a little soft, but within 2 hours, probably this is going to be hard as a rock. And so later we'll finish it, but when we finish it, you will notice the bubbles. And probably next time when you're trying it yourself, you will have to try varying temperatures and varying proportions of the catalyst to compensate for the surrounding temperature. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you or somebody you know is looking for any type of fabrication work, especially involving acrylic or polycarbonate and even wood, please make sure to get in touch with Mr. Clenson at FSMS. They will definitely help you out and give you a very competitive and very high quality work. Please make sure to check for that contact information in the description of this video so you can get in touch with them. And thank you again, Mr. Clenson and the team at FSMS for helping us with this video.